Welcome into another LL Sports Update show. He is Jeff Reinhardt. I'm John Walk. We're going to start off with boys tennis.
We're going to start off with boys tennis this week. More championships. Don't forget they had the team championship last week in tennis. This past week over at Conestoga Valley in the wind, apparently, on Monday. We had the singles and doubles championships. Here's your winners. You ready? AAA singles. Jack Mareka from Cedar Crest, second year in a row. He's a junior for the Falcons. He wins. He beats Manheim Township's Tom Chairs 6-1, 6-0. That must have been a quick one. Jack Mareka from Crest wins, second year in a row for him. AAA doubles. Hempfield is your champ. Jake Curtin and Ben Cook win. They beat Manheim Township's Carson, Schreiber, and Tom Chairs. AA, have a day. Brady Burns, freshman, Pequay Valley. Wow. He wins singles, beats another freshman, Brendan McNamara from Lancaster Catholic, 6-2, 6-2. And then Brady Burns turns around and plays in the 2A doubles finals. Teams with Devin Clemmer, and they win. They beat Elko's Mason Benich and Dawson Smith, 2-6, 6-2, 10-5 in the third set. Brady Burns, great day. Wins singles, teams with Mr. Clemmer, and wins doubles. So congrats to those guys. They'll all move on next and play in districts coming up. They'll also be the team tournament. But singles, doubles moving forward. Good luck to all the LL boys moving forward. Okay, a lot of spring sports to talk about. Diana Pugliese sent along some baseball notes. What do you got?
Yeah, good job staying up on the boys tennis, by the way. I know it's not your spring beat, but you're doing a good job.
I'm trying.
There.
Congrats to everybody.
Thanks to Diana for sending us the baseball news. 13 Lancaster County baseball teams are in line for a district berth as of Tuesday night, while the field for the league playoffs, which are scheduled to begin a week from Saturday at War Memorial Field, that's starting to take shape as well. Cedar Crest currently holds the top spot in Section 1 with a 9-3 record and a league-high 121 runs scored.
Wow,
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
The Falcons picked up a big win on Thursday as Luke Haynes' RBI single in the 11th inning gave them a walk-off 1-0 win over Elizabethtown. Crest's biggest competition is Warwick, which has won 7 of its last 8 games, and the two teams will meet at Warwick on Tuesday.
Okay.
Winners of 10 of their last 11, Ephrata leads Section 2 with a 10-3 league record, while Lampeter Strasburg and Elizabethtown battle it out with identical 8-5 records in second place. Ephrata added to its lead with a 5-3 win over LS on Monday, in which Mounts pitcher Nate Young left with a no-hitter in the 7th inning after striking out 16 batters.
Wow.
Two teams are riding hot streaks in Section 3 with both first-place Manheim Central, 10-2 league record, and second-place Cocalico with an 8-4 league record. Cocalico has won 7 of their last 8. The teams, Manheim Central and Cocalico, they will face off Monday at Manheim Central. Lancaster Catholic is back atop Section 4 with an 11-2 league record behind strong pitching from Dylan Marsh, who is 4-0 with 66 strikeouts,
Impressive.
and Nick Bresnak, who's 5-0 with 50 Ks.
Wow.
Ambaclana currently sits in second place in Section 4, but the Dutchmen will have to hold off a hot Pequay Valley team that has won 7 of its last 8. And again, thanks to Diana for sending us that stuff. Stay up to speed with her if you want to keep up on everything in LL baseball. We also are in the throes of LL softball, and Dave Burns stopped by to catch us up to speed there. We throw it to Dave.
Hello again, Dave Byrne for Lancaster Online, talking about LL softball. The LL softball season is scheduled to end Monday. It won't. With April rainouts stacked up like incoming flights at Philly International, the season is going to go beyond Monday, possibly way beyond. Wednesday's schedule of games should have been the 14th of the league season. As it stands, 5 teams have 3 makeups on deck, 7 have 2, and 10 lucky sides have just 1 game to make up. That assumes we won't get any weather-related holdups between today and next Saturday, when the league playoffs are set to begin. About those playoffs, as of this morning, 10, maybe 11 teams are in the hunt for the 8 playoff berths, doled out to each of the top 2 finishers in the league's 4 sections. Donegal and LS have clinched spots. A few others are getting close. Penn Manor has a 1-game lead on Hempfield and Warwick in Section 1. The Comets finished the season, in theory, Monday hosting the Black Knights. First, Hempfield visits Warwick Friday evening. In Section 2, Solanco is 2 games up on Elizabethtown with a magic number of 2. The Bears hold a 1-game lead on Garden Spot for the second playoff slot in the section. Donegal is a game up on LS in Section 3, and they meet Tuesday in a makeup contest that could decide the section championship. However, before then, both face third place Northern Lebanon and Donegal on Friday, LS on Monday. The Vikings, playing their best ball of the season, are likely not going to make the league playoffs, but sit pretty for the District 3 championships. More on that in a minute. Meanwhile, Pioneers meet Cocalico Thursday afternoon. The Indians face Elko on Monday. Every year, Section 4 comes down to Pequea Valley and Annville-Cleona, and this season is no different. Pequea is a game up on the Dutchman, and they have already split the season series. The Braves travel to Lancaster Catholic and finish with Columbia on Monday. Annville has the Crimson Tide Friday before closing out with Lebanon Catholic. The District 3 championships are scheduled to begin Tuesday, May 22nd. Currently, 12 teams are sitting inside the cut line in their respective classifications, with a 13th just outside. In Class 6A, Penn Manor is 3rd, Warwick 7th, and Hempfield 9th in the 10-team field. Manheim Township is just outside, sitting in 11th. In 5A, Donegal and Solanco are 1 and 2 in a 16-team bracket, with LS seeded 6th, E-Town 9th, Garden Spot 11th, and Manheim Central 15th. Sitting 6th in a 10-team 4A field, Northern Lebanon is the only LL school. Pequea and Annville are 5th and 6th in the 16 3A bracket. Neither Columbia in 2A nor Lebanon Catholic in 1A are in the mix. Seedings for the district tournament close Saturday a week, so there's plenty of time for movement among the teams. Again, it's a good to spend time with you. This is Dave Byrne speaking for Lancaster Online.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Byrne, for LL softball updates. Boy, you know, softball and baseball playoffs will be here before you know it. So follow Diana and Dave for all things LL baseball and softball. Great job, guys. Okay, let's move on to lacrosse. Boys and girls lax. What do you got?
Big week in LL lacrosse, final week of the regular season. There's a lot going on. This past Monday was a big night in LL lacrosse. I'll start on the girls' side. Manheim Township goes to Hempfield, wins it 21-4. Township should finish off this week going perfect in league play, and they will go likely into 2019 with the 70-game LL regular season win streak. We caught up after the game on Monday with defender Ashley Wanger. The reason being, Manheim Township put up 21 goals, but the defense was awesome, holding Hempfield to only 4 scores, and they forced double-digit turnovers. Here was Manheim Township's Ashley Wanger talking about that defensive effort.
Overall, our defense is just really smart. We're really quick. We're really connected and in sync. So we're good at just moving and making sure we're doubling and crashing down on those good players so they can't come through.
What does this win mean for you?
It's a big win, definitely. It's always nice to beat our rivals on the field, but it's just good, confidence, I guess, going into postseason coming up and just knowing that our defense is solid, our offense is solid, our team is solid altogether.
Also happening on Monday, Lancaster Country Day, Lancaster Catholic beat Lampeter-Strasburg 15-14. That was an awesome back and forth game. Credit to Alexis Howe with the game winner with 43 seconds left. That sets up LCD in prime positioning for the LL playoffs, which we'll touch on here in a second. Then on Wednesday, Lampeter-Strasburg, they go back home and they face Hempfield. Lampeter-Strasburg, a back and forth game. Both teams trade big leads and runs and whatnot. LS comes out on top of that. Your winner, 17-12 over Hempfield.
Nice.
Important because first time ever in program history, Lampeter-Strasburg beats Hempfield in girls lacrosse.
Wow.
Oh, and by the way, LS, 12 wins. First LS girls lacrosse team to get the 12 wins. First time in program history for them.
Nice.
All right, coming up on Friday, here's what has to happen for LL playoffs. Hempfield and Conestoga Valley will square off on Friday. If Hempfield wins that game on Friday, the LL girls playoffs field will look as follows. Township will be first, Hempfield will be second, Lancaster Country Day will be your 3rd seed, and Cocalico will be your 4th seed. However, Conestoga Valley could very well win that because they need every win that they can get. I was just looking at the District 3 power ratings for Conestoga Valley, and I think they're 2 spots outside of making districts with an 8-8 record. So if they beat Hempfield, they'll likely get up in there. So they're going to be gunning for that win against the Black Knights on Friday. So if Hempfield loses, Township will still be your 1 seed in the LL girls lacrosse playoff field. Country Day will get the 2nd seed, and then the 3rd and 4th seed will be a 3-way tie between Hempfield, Cocalico, and Lampeter-Strasburg. And I was looking at the tiebreaker rules. They were all 1-1 against each other. They were all 0-1 against the section champ. So most likely it's going to come down to the 3rd tiebreaker rule, which is the district power rating. And don't ask me to figure out the district power ratings. That's like, you
Well,
know,
no way.
If train A leaves the station at 8:01 a.m. and train B at 8:02, and it's like, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, so they're not flipping coins at least.
No,
so
right.
come down
Well,
to some
the
numbers.
fourth tiebreaker is a coin flip. So hopefully that's not up to me. Most likely that'll come down to Brandon Lippy, who's a LL girls lacrosse
Yes,
chair. She'll have to
she
figure
does a
that
good
out. So
job.
good luck with that, Brandon. All right, back on boys lacrosse. Also on Monday, Hempfield traveled to Manheim Township. They were playing under the lights.
Oh, yeah, big
I've been
match.
covering lacrosse now, LL lacrosse, for 4 seasons. This is the first township game I've covered at their field under the lights. It was an
Nice.
awesome atmosphere, always very high tension and pressure and whatnot. Hempfield starts off, scores the first goal of the game. Township comes back, takes the lead 2 minutes later, and they run away with it. They had a double-digit lead by halftime, and they ended up winning 20-8.
Wow.
Caught up with Grayson Saladay after that game. He had 4 goals and 3 assists, and here was Grayson on his take on how the Blue Streaks came out on top in that matchup.
We came out firing on all cylinders, and I think that started with the focus since Saturday morning. We had the game Friday, so after that we were juiced up again and got hydrated and got ready for this one.
What does this mean for you?
Means a lot, but you know, next game though. We play Ephrata on Wednesday, Thursday, so you know, get ready for that, and then league start next week. We gotta get ready.
All right, thanks Grayson for chatting with me after the game. It's always a good matchup. I'm sure Township and Hempfield will meet up again in the LL League playoffs next week. By the way, Township will most likely finish off this season with a 96-game LL regular season win streak for the Blue Streaks going into 2019.
Big number.
Quite a mark, so they're coming up on 100. Thursday, here's what's coming up in boys lacrosse, and this is big for the whole LL playoff field. Penn Manor is traveling to Warwick. If Warwick wins that game, your LL boys playoff field will look as follows. 1 will be Township, 2 Hempfield, 3 Warwick, 4 Penn Manor. If Penn Manor wins that, Warwick loses. Your LL playoff field will look as follows. Township 1, Hempfield 2, Penn Manor 3, and then, once again, our favorite, we will have a 3-way tie for the 4th and final LL boys playoff spot between Warwick, Lancaster Country Day, and Ephrata. And again, they were all 1-1 against each other, all 0-1 against the section champs, so most likely will come down to the district power rating, and good luck trying to figure that out. Hey, just wanted to leave one last note on here. If you happen to be out at a boys lacrosse game for the league this week, this is their giving back week, and they're doing that. All the teams are wearing pink t-shirts, and on the front you'll see it'll say Lindley's Light. For those who are unfamiliar, Lindley's Light was a nonprofit started by the Warwick boys lacrosse coach Wayne Hummer. He and his wife, she gave birth to a stillborn a number of months back, and they were able to spend time with their stillborn through what is called a cuddle cot, where it keeps the baby alive for 2 to 3 days, allows some time for the family to kind of grieve with their child before saying goodbye. So fast forward to now, they started this nonprofit, and their daughter's name, Lindley. Nonprofit's called Lindley's Light. These t-shirts is basically raising money for that nonprofit, which raises money to get cuddle cots to provide those opportunities should that happen in the future for any other families at hospitals. So if you're able to be at a game and provide any donations or buy a t-shirt, please do. All right, on to LL track and field as Tim Gross drops by to get us up to speed on the Penn Relays, which was last weekend, and coming up, the LL track and field championships are coming up. All right, so we throw it to Tim for track and field.
The LL League track and field season is winding down. Monday is the last slate of LL League dual meets, and then they go to the championships the following Friday. There's still some section titles on the line, though. Donegal in Section 3, they've already wrapped up the Section 3 boys title. They're undefeated, and they're going into a bye week, and no one can catch them, so they'll spend their bye week celebrating a section title. Elsewhere in the boys' standings, Cocalico can wrap up the Section 2 title outright when they host Lebanon. And in Section 1, Manheim Township's coming off a big win over McCaskey. Both teams were undefeated going into it on Monday. Township won that one and had some really close finishes. Elvis Morara won the triple jump by half an inch, so slimmest of margins, but Township prevails. They can wrap up the Section 3 title outright when they host Conestoga Valley on Monday. On the girls' side, the Warwick girls, they had a bye week, and they are looking to wrap up the section title with a win over Cedar Crest on Monday. In Section 3, the Elko girls can wrap up their section title in Section 3 with a win at Columbia. And Ephrata and E-Town, they're the 2 remaining undefeated teams in Section 2. Their girls will go at it on Monday in Elizabethtown. That's a big one. Individually, the Ephrata boys, their 4x800 team, qualified for the Championship of America at the Penn Relays last week. They finished 9th with a time of 7:52.72. That's the second fastest time in LL League history. And to top that off, Tyler Shue ran the opening leg of that one. He ran it in 1:52.55. That's an 800-meter time that would have been the second fastest 800-meter run in LL League history. Elsewhere individually, Katie Locker of E-Town. She ran the fastest 800-meter time on the girls' side in the state on Friday at Dallastown. She ran a 2:14.07. So she's really coming into hitting her stride there as the season wraps up. And on the boys' side, Ryan Carter in the pole vault. He's the defending LL League champion. He's from Manheim Central. He cleared 14.2 in a dual meet Monday and cleared 14.6 Wednesday at Lancaster Catholic. So he's really moving the bar up there, and as he's looking to defend his title in the pole vault. Coming up this weekend, we have the Stan Morgan Invitational at Carlisle. There's the Hoka Henderson Invitational at Westchester. And right here in Lancaster, there's the Blue Streak Relays at Manheim Township. That's always a fun one. All the events are scored as relays, including the field events. They'll add the teams of two in the field events. They'll add their times or their distances and heights together. So it's always fun, guys, getting their final tune-ups before the league meets. Like I said, it's going to be next weekend. So that's it for the LL League Track and Field Report. I'm Tim Gross for LNP.
All right, thank you, Tim, for dropping by, catching us up to speed on the outdoor sport. Now let's go indoors. What's going on with boys volleyball?
Indoors. If you squint, you can see the finish line. Wow, a lot of these spring sports are starting to get towards the end here. So just one more week, next week, Monday, Wednesday of LL volleyball. And then the quarterfinals are next weekend, semifinals and finals the week after. So there's a lot going on. Here's where we stand coming towards the end of this week. Hempfield and Manheim Central are going to wrap up section titles. They're both undefeated. Hempfield going into Thursday 9-0. Manheim Central goes into Thursday 10-0. So the Barons and the Black Knights are going to wrap up. They're going to win section titles. They both have comfortable leads with 2 or 3 matches to go. They should be your section champs. Section 1 has been a fabulous race. Warwick still alone in second at 7-3 as we get to the end of the week. McCaskey alone in third at 6-4. Conestoga Valley at 4-5, Penn Manor at 4-6, still alive. Manheim Township, the reigning league champ, at 3-6. Does not look like the streaks are going to repeat. The X Factor team here is going to be McCaskey. Saw them on Tuesday night against Conestoga Valley. Buckskins are cruising up 2-0 on deadline night. Could be 3-0. McCaskey comes flying back. 5 games. And this is my fun McCaskey nugget for the week. These guys are so much fun. I told you last week about OJ Chom Chom and Tate Lapham, and they're fantastic. McCaskey, it was the 5th time this year they've been pushed 5 sets, and it's the 4th time they won in 5 sets. So that is a scrappy team that you better play to the end, and if you have your foot on their throat, you better push down and beat them, and CV did not do that on Tuesday. So McCaskey will be my X Factor team in the leagues. Hempfield and Central are going to be your favorites. Make no doubt about it. But McCaskey really tricky, and they're fun. I like them a lot. Okay, Section 2 was mentioned. Barons, saw them a couple times last week. They're loaded. Really, really good. They're fantastic. Lancaster Mennonite should be safe for second place. Blazers at 8-2 at the end of the week here. Then it gets a little interesting. Like with lacrosse, we could have three teams going for 2 spots. Cocalico's at 5-4, and then Garden Spot and Elizabethtown are both 4-5. I'll get a live look at E-Town for the first time this season this week here. I'm anxious to see them. Garden Spot's kind of wedged its way into the race here. So Cocalico, Garden Spot, E-Town will all be fighting for the last couple of spots here for the LL field. Key matches next Monday. Lancaster Mennonite at Cocalico. That'll be big. Covered that meeting over at Mennonite. Cocalico led 2-0. Mennonite came back and won 3-2. Oops. Wednesday on the last night of league play, and this could determine the last spot. Elizabethtown at Garden Spot next Wednesday. That could be large. That could be for the 4th spot, moving ahead to LL playoffs. Looked at the District 3 standings. Hempfield was number 1 in AAA. Manheim Central number 2 in AA behind Northeastern York, 5-time 2A reigning state champs. They're loaded. Barons, Northeastern should meet up a lot here. They should see them in districts and probably states. Knock on wood, moving forward. Okay. Let's go to a winter sport. A couple of basketball things happened here this past week. Fill us in.
Yeah, I'll start off. Ryan Smith, Lampeter Strasburg senior, 6'10", going to East Stroudsburg Division II school. He was just recently named All-State for his performance in the 2017-18 season. On to a coaching note, second week in a row for that. Chris Bradford steps down as the Annville Kalina boys basketball coach. He kind of hands it off to whoever is next there and kind of leaves them in good standing there. He's a Middletown alum. He teaches at Middletown.
Okay.
And then he's been traveling back and forth from Middletown to Anvil Cleone.
That's
He
a haul.
also has a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old at home. So he has his hands full right
Sounds
now.
like it.
So he kind of needed to step away, and he just didn't think it was fair to the kids on the boys basketball team, kind of not being able to spend as much time as he could with them. And I think this past year there were some games where he had to also coach the JV game too.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so congratulations to Chris. I'm sure maybe years down the line when his kids are grown, we might see him back on the sidelines at some point. So he was always good with me, and his teams were very interesting these last couple of years. Noah Myers down low, and they had a lot of three-point shooters and all that. All right, last basketball note I wanted to mention here, Manheim Township. He's a junior now. He's going to be a rising senior. Point guard Tyler Crespo just picked up his very first NCAA Division I offer from Marist College, which is in New York. Tyler's a super humble kid, and he works harder than anyone I know in basketball circles. And he led Manheim Township in assists and steals. So congratulations to Tyler for that.
Let me ask you a basketball question. Are you surprised that Smith was the only LL kid to make All-State?
Not really, just because, Ryan Moffitt with Hempfield, he could have thrown him in the mix there. But
And Crespo, maybe?
And Crespo, too. The only thing is, I don't know, Ryan oftentimes, he's a very humble kid, and he likes to share the ball, and Ryan has the talent where he could average 30 points a game if he really wanted to.
6'10".
But he got everybody involved. He was awesome on the defensive efforts. Maybe the numbers weren't there for him. He was nominated. Tyler was nominated for 6A. Plus, 6A field is just ginormous, and the
across the
amount of
state,
talent
yeah.
across the state is pretty crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about Tyler being All-State this time next year. But, yeah, no, not surprised with that. And Ryan Smith, after the year he had, that kind of throwback center to him.
Good for him.
All right, you want to chat LL football news real quick?
Sure,
What's
why
going on
not?
there?
Okay, the first of many springtime all-star football games kicks off this week. John and I were at bitter, cold, windy Downingtown West High School on Sunday to watch the East team practice. So we wanted to let you know the East-West All-Star game is coming up on Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at Mansion Park in Altoona, which is a great place. We got to cover Manheim Central and Manheim Township out there last fall. We got the East roster, I don't know, a month or two ago, and then we go to the practice, and it's like completely different roster. Kids that we thought were going to be in the game were not there. Kids we didn't know were going to be in the game were there. So what a haul for the LL. This is impressive, and we're going to run a graphic here with the names so you can see them. But 9 LL kids made this roster. That's a lot. 9 out of whatever, 30, 33? 9 of them are LL kids, plus a coach. So 9 players from the LL. Jared Novak, Conestoga Valley's head coach, is calling the defensive plays. Spoke very highly of the team when we got to chat with him on Sunday. Handed over the duties to Tyler Simon from Manheim Central. He said he'll call the plays on the field. So Coach Novak is there coaching in this game for the second time. And one more LL tie-in from Springford. Chad Brubaker is the head coach. He's a Cocalico grad. Used to coach at Solanco, used to coach at E-Town, used to coach at Wilson. So it's always nice running into Chad Brubaker at these kind of things. So East-West game, Sunday, 2 o'clock, Altoona, Mansion Park. 1 coach, 9 LL reps. The 2 other games with LL kids coming up. Obviously the LL All-Star game, which is May 26th at Manheim Central. And then the Big 33 game, which is mid-June with 4 or 5 Township kids, 4 or 5 LL kids, and Township coach Mark Evans for that. Looking forward to that. We'll get you coverage on those coming up. For John Walk, Jeff Reinhardt here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week with more LL Sports Update.